Sims was doing bad, and they bring in a guy with absolutely no experience, an overrated guy as far as his sport, and Tony Romo, to take a job that probably is a lifetime, achievement, is like a career top job that most people that do that for a living would love to have. Former players as well. It's just very strange, man. What are your thoughts? 404-382-0338. It's just very strange to me. It's strange that he's getting all of this love for being one of the greatest quarterbacks of all times. He's not even the greatest quarterback on his damn organization, in his organization. I had a guy last night, one of my folk from back in the day, and he was defending Romo, and I asked him the question I continue to ask y'all, if you're a Cowboy fan, who are you taking? You taking Romo, you taking Aikman, or you taking Staubach? And I think 95% of the people would take Aikman first and Staubach second, and maybe flipped around based on, your age or whatever and how much you paid attention to Roger Staubach. I remember Roger Staubach being a great quarterback. I remember Roger Staubach being a winner. I remember Roger Staubach not losing games by throwing dumbass passes in the tight windows. Okay, I was a young boy when Roger Staubach played, but I watched football back then. I remember all of the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys were kind of like a big thing in the 70s, okay? They were kind of a big thing. And so, yeah, it's not even a question. And I think most people are like that, but this guy was one of the 5% of people that says, I asked him that question, and then he kind of like twisted around. It's like, well, if you gave Romo that offensive line and that defense that they had when Aikman played, he'd take Romo. Man, we can't play no damn fantasy imaginary shit like that. Right. Romo's got a gunslinger attitude that he learned from his childhood hero, Brett Favre, where I think that if you put Romo with the Cowboys in the 90s, of course he does better because you got better players in totality around him, but I think he still has the same mentality. I think he still tries to throw the ball in triple coverage. I think he still tries to squeeze the ball in little tight spaces, and I think they spook him into making dumb plays to defense. Yeah, that's what I believe. So I don't know, man. I don't get it. Another thing I don't get is how this guy gets this job with absolutely no experience at all. No experience at all. And it sounds like they're trying to get a 2-for-1. He's this great golf player. They say he's a scratch golfer. And so they're thinking that CBS may use him also for their golf coverage. I don't know, man. I don't know. Just crazy to me. From the 47th Problem in the chat room on Spreaker.com. What up, 47? Somebody else said to me before I read this message, it just popped into my head. So somebody said to me yesterday that I make excuses, and I said I was talking about Romo, and I says I don't understand why people are making excuses for him. And somebody said in the chat room, you make excuses for Vic. Somebody said that to me again yesterday on social media. Here's this. Let me just say this. The difference between the conversation surrounding Michael Vick and Tony Romo is that no one's ever said Tony Romo or Mike Vick was one of the greatest quarterbacks ever. Or when he retired, or when they talked about his career, painted his career in such glowing, ways. Like people literally are saying Romo is an all-time great. Yes, people even made the argument that he should be a Hall of Famer. Nobody ever said anything like that about Vic being an all-time great. I think Vic had the possibility to be an all-time great if obviously things didn't go the way that they did in his life. I think that Mike Vick was definitely inherited because he played with a bunch of sorry teammates around him for the most part. So he didn't have a lot of access to great teammates and great coaching and a great organization at the time. But the difference is at the end of their careers, and you're talking about their careers in totality once again, people are legitimately saying that this guy is a Hall of Famer type player, or this guy is one of the greats of all times. Nobody's saying that about Mike Vick. He's overrated. At the end of the day, I think that the way that people talk about Romo, he's overrated. As simple as that. Period. He is way overrated. Nah. And the media don't give Mike Vick that shake. They don't. So stop that. Right. The media has never. Maybe fans do. Maybe fans see, the great things that Vic did over the time and have great, fond memories of the guy and what he did, especially if you live in Atlanta. It's very different than the way fans in Atlanta think than fans in other places, parts of this country. But the media's never, given Michael Vick all this adulation about being one of the greatest players ever. Never, period. From the 47 Problem, he said, I'm drinking my coffee from a Yeti tumbler. This is the most overrated cup I've ever had. It doesn't keep my coffee any more hot than my regular cup. Huh? I disagree. What? I disagree. That Yeti cup, and I don't know why you brought that up, but that Yeti cup, man, is a game changer. A game changer, okay? It's a game changer. That thing, man, so we go to these track meets on Saturday, obviously. We got one this weekend. And my wife, she doesn't have the Yeti cup. There's a version of it from Walmart because we weren't paying $80 for no damn cup. Yeah. So we weren't going to pay $80. So we have the same Yeti cup technology, but it's the one from Walmart. I can't remember what it's called, like the Mountain Cup or something like that. Man, we'll fill that thing with ice, man, and we'll be at the track all day long, 8-10 hours. And when we leave, that same ice that we put in there that morning, man, is still ice. I disagree with you, sir. From the OK Sigma, Doug, you do realize that Aikman only threw 20-plus TDs once in his whole career, right? Once again, sir, use your eyes. I need you to be a little bit better than that. Use your eyes. How many times do I have to tell you? The game has changed now. The game is more reliant on, or they have more open offenses today. The amount of times that Tony Romo throws the ball in a game, I'm not even looking at it, but I'm willing to bet everything I got. The amount of times average Tony Romo threw in his career as a starter for the Dallas Cowboys far exceeds the amount that Troy Aikman did. I'm willing to bet that. The game is changed, so you have more opportunities. You have more inflated stats. Use your eyes. I always say this. I said this yesterday. Stats lie. Look at the player. Look at the player. And OK Sigma, I think you're one of them Romo fans, and you might be from Dallas, you might be from Texas or whatever, man. Are you taking Tony Romo or are you taking Troy Aikman? Simple as that. And if you tell me you are taking Tony Romo over Troy Aikman, I'll say you're crazy. Use your eyes, man. Use your eyes. From Fel Pay. Low key, I still kind of get a little mad when folks hate on Vic. I guess that's why I still view Dion as a Falcon. Us Falcon fans have psychological issues, I'll admit it. Yeah. It's hard. I can only imagine growing up in Atlanta and rooting for the Falcons your entire life. I can only imagine. I mean, what is it that stat after the Super Bowl that was bantied around? After the Patriots won the Super Bowl, that was the 37th sports title for the city of Boston. Atlanta only has one, the 95 Braves. Right. I mean, 37-1. Yeah, I can only imagine growing up being an Atlanta sports fan, man, and I'm not going to get back into the Falcon talk, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. from Thorny Switch. That dude is still brittle, though. Why folks forgetting that? Romo would have died on the field playing when Aikman did. I agree. From that ninja. He says, white people getting jobs they're not qualified for isn't new and it's not going to stop. That's not surprising. You're right. From Darryl Berry, why do quarterbacks get credit for wins and losses? During Romo's career in Dallas, he had some decent pieces to work with, but never a complete team around him recently. That's something that you'll never know. People always try to play that game like the guy did I was telling you about in the chat yesterday, or not the chat, I think it was on the Doug Stewart Show Facebook chat group. And he was like, if you take Romo and put him with the Cowboys of the 90s, that he would do better than Troy Aikman. I disagree because he wouldn't make smarter decisions. That's it. He wouldn't make as smart decisions. There's no way. If he threw the ball at the same rate of times that Aikman did during the 90s, during those 3 Super Bowl runs, if he threw the ball the same amount of times that Troy Aikman threw the ball, he would have more turnovers. He wouldn't have more interceptions. He wouldn't have more boneheaded plays, period. So even if you play that little game, I disagree. I don't understand this, man. I don't understand what's the love for Tony Romo. You know what? You know what, man? I'm actually going to miss Tony Romo because I used to bust balls on Sunday after the Dallas Cowboys lost. And Romo did something stupid. I'm sure most of y'all know, staunch, over-the-top Cowboy fans. And there's nothing better, nothing more fun on a Sunday over the last decade or so after Tony Romo gave a game away at the very end. It was nothing more exciting on social media to jump on there and look at the Cowboy, Tony Romo or memes that people would post on Facebook and Twitter or whatever. I'm going to miss that, actually. I'm actually going to miss that. I just thought about it. We don't get to clown Tony Romo no more. I'm actually going to miss clowning Tony Romo. Yeah, and seemingly Dallas has replaced Romo with a guy that had one of the greatest rookie years ever for a quarterback. So y'all went from shit to sugar real fast. Yeah. Very interesting. Very interesting. All right, when we get back from the break, entertainment talk. Beyonce and Jay celebrate, as well as Pepsi and hot water. And then we'll mention birthdays as well. All right, don't go away. Back in 3 minutes, the Doug Stewart Show.
And yes, it was a young suitor from out of the bunch. She's gonna eat him for lunch. You know she's got an eye. He didn't mean to excuse her from having a fun, but he just noticed the one chick that's looking fly. Silence rolled by, voices in my head. It's starting to look like a typical case of some lame lines. He leaned in slightly, she think a lie.